Now joining me as always with a school board recap interview is Holyoke School Superintendent John McCleary. Mr. McCleary, how you been?
Good, Marc. How are you doing?
Doing good. See you're surviving the heat. That's good to see.
Yeah, right. It's finally starting to warm up a little bit. I noticed today that our two maintenance grounds guys, Dusty and Billy, were actually starting to turn on the sprinkler. So it's the first time we've had to use the sprinklers in the district. So
right. Well, and luckily we've had rains at the right time.
Yeah.
Now that's kind of dropped off a little bit.
Yeah.
The heat's come up, so
just in time for the roofing project. So
right.
Hopefully it kind of stops raining for a little while. Let us get everything planted and capped off at least. So.
Yep. As the board did meet this past Tuesday and started off with end-of-year reports.
Yeah, so every year we do the principal's end-of-the-year reports, and we focused on attendance issues. And, you know, our attendance really wasn't that bad considering I had to actually cancel an entire day at school at 100% absentee, you know, is what it would count as. But our attendance were about 94% at the high school and a little over 95% at the elementary. So it's not the greatest attendance rates I've ever seen, but it's not too bad.
Right.
Looked at some disciplinary reports, pretty minimal overall for classroom disruptions and other things like that, and then moved on to passing grades, failing grades, and then how students are starting to do on some of the standardized tests they're taking. So overall, I think both buildings had good reports, and both buildings have got things to work on, and that's kind of what those reports are for. If anybody wants to talk specific about it, come on in and see me, and I can give you the boring details.
So I definitely do. If you have any more questions about those end of year reports, do get in contact with Mr. McCleary or the district office. From there, they approved. From there, they moved to the next item, an approval of new personnel.
Yeah, so this is our last teacher hire. So Zach Kubik is going to be our high school PE teacher. So Zach's this is his first year teaching. He'll be helping out with football and other things like that. So
right on.
Yeah.
Well, wish Zach the best of luck. Welcome him to the community as well. From there, the board moved to the next topic and having to do with spring sports.
Yeah, so Sandra was there. Mm-hmm. She presented her spring sports schedules and then her participation and everything else like that. Sorry, I kind of have a frog in my throat. And I think we were over at 90 still for participation in track by the end of the year, so that's great.
Right.
And overall, it was a pretty successful spring sports. I mean, how many kids did we have go to state with some points? I think it was 4. And then baseball went further than it normally does.
Right.
So that's good. Then she kind of went into the athletic fan policy, and we spent a lot of time talking about that. And, you know, we're looking at that sportsmanship, how to promote sportsmanship, and then how are we going to manage fans that might be disruptive or, you know, are struggling with behaviors and other things like that.
Right.
So that's a topic of discussion right now. And if you've got any feedback or anybody in the community, catch one of your school board members and tell them what you think about that kind of stuff. I'll have a really good working draft posted for the next meeting, so you'll be able to see that on the webpage. And, we're also talking about surveying our students and seeing, you know, how do the kids feel whenever people are acting out or other things like that, you know, what's the impact there?
Right.
And really what we're looking for is some specifics on what we're going to do, and then kind of using it as a tool to help guide the people that have to supervise those events. Because, it's kind of hard to leave your principal or your AD out there just sort of not really sure what to do. And if we can all come together as a community and agree on the criteria, you know, that'll work better for everybody involved, I think.
Right. So I definitely do. If you have any questions or any input about that athletic fan policy, do get in contact with Mr. McCleary, a board member, or the district office. As from there, moved into a final item and having to do with health insurance. And been a lot of talk about this here lately, but this on a little bit different lines.
Yeah, so I met with paraprofessionals in the spring and promised them I was going to look for an opportunity to expand our health care so that we could provide health insurance for paraprofessionals. And it looks like it's going to happen. That'll kick in September 1st, and I'll be talking to the paraprofessionals about all the details. But it's a good plan. It's a plan that's affordable. It's one that if you were to go out on the open market, you wouldn't be able to afford a plan like it. So it's just the first step in trying to take care of not just the paraprofessionals but our classified people as well. And I think you'll see that that there'll be some that'll take us up on it and some that won't.
Right.
But I think it's important for us to offer it to make sure that we're in compliance with ACA, and also that we're just taking care of our people because it's the right thing to do.
Right.
Several board members have expressed that, and I really appreciate that sentiment. We have to take care of the people that work for us because we want the people that work for us to take care of the kids that we give them. And it's kind of a for me a moral thing. So, so that was good.
So now, obviously, you've said that starts in September. Is it pretty much a finalized deal? Does the board have to revisit it at all before?
No. It'll be pretty much a finalized deal, and I'll be getting in contact with unfortunately, I didn't get it done before school got out, but I'll be getting in touch with paraprofessionals, explaining what it looks like, and looking at the contributions and everything else like that.
So just excellent news there. Is really rounds out the major points of the board this last week. As with school not in session, kind of hard to turn our attention towards what's happening in the schools, but
still a lot going on.
Just as you touched on earlier, I do want to remind everybody there is the roofing project. I'm guessing the door to the junior high side will be closed.
Just stay out of that area and just use the front door.
And that parking lot on the north side is closed, right?
Yeah. And I mean, the school, the whole junior high wing looks like a bomb exploded in it right now. All the tiles have been taken out because we have to put in those supports, and there's just guys working really hard in there to get that done. And then, you'll start seeing more activity on the roof soon.
Right.
So that's good. Let me see. I had something else I was going to bring up. We're getting. So we installed new pieces of kitchen equipment this week from a grant that we got for $53,000. We have a brand new steamer and steam oven. Yeah, it's really an amazing piece of equipment. So we finally got it plumbed, and because it has its own boiler.
Right.
And so we got it plumbed and installed, and so that's really good. And we're also moving forward with all of our reading purchases. I think I've talked to you about some of the reading program. So the board voted on that, and I just didn't have it on my list. But that's a significant purchase, and I think it's been almost 15 years since the district's had a new reading program.
Awesome.
So this program's amazing. It's got the same. So like you could take a story, and that story is written in 3 different ways. Like one way to support a special education student, one way to support like an ELL student, and one way to support a student that's on track in reading at grade level.
Right.
And that same story can occur in 3 different ways. So the kids are all working on the same thing, and interventionists are working on the same thing, but it's at places where they can start to actually attain and grow. Because if you're trying to teach reading to students who aren't there yet, and you're teaching it above their heads, they don't make nearly the progress as if you teach in what they call their zone of proximal development.
Right.
And just based on the skill set that they have. So I'm really excited about that. Another part of this is a program called Overdrive, which so when you get into high school for language arts books, a lot of those are like novel sets. You had to always read like Romeo and Juliet, or A Day No Pigs Would Die, or those kind of books.
Grapes of Wrath.
Grapes of Wrath, right. And so now this is, instead of purchasing an actual paperback, you purchase downloadable things that can go on a kid's cell phone, on a Kindle, on their Chromebook,
right,
or anything else like that. And so you still have classroom sets, and they're delivered electronically, and then they're returned electronically, and so nothing gets damaged.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, that's a pretty slick idea.
Yeah.
For about $3.99 per title.
Well, and a heck of a lot cheaper than going out and buying even just a paperback.
Right, yeah, and I mean kids try to take care of stuff most of the time, but paperbacks get beat up.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah, I saw one the other day. He's had one in his back pocket, and I'm like, dude, that's not the right way to be carrying it. I was like, hopefully he's reading it though, right?
Yeah, that's
so maybe it was all just by absorption. What's that called? Osmosis. But yeah. So anyway, so that's good. And then we're also picking up some materials for ELL students, and so it's really exciting.
So definitely a lot to look forward to in the coming school year. Obviously, as always, if you have any questions about what was talked about in the board meeting, in this board recap interview, do get in contact with Holyoke School Superintendent John McCleary, or your board members will be happy to answer your questions for you. John, anything else before I let you go?
Mark, I think that's it. Thanks a lot. Good school year.
Yep, thanks much.
All right. Bye-bye.